Hello and welcome to another video. This time we're going to be looking at scrolling graphics, or at least an introduction. The code we're going to cover this time includes many of the routines we've already used before, so I won't go into everything in detail. We start the program with the usual setup, we set the mode and we send a lot of data off to the VDU. Now in this case we're doing the same as we did with the plotting and the viewport. We're setting the screen to non-scaled graphics. I've included some extra background colours here, and then we're going to plot some different shapes and pixels on the screen. The main body of our routine goes through a loop and just keeps checking which keys have been pressed. Exit with the escape key, or each of the 4 different direction controls to scroll left, right, up and down. If any of them are pressed, then we go to that routine. So if we scroll left, for instance, we're going to set the scroll direction to be number 1, and we'll look at that in a moment. We'll then call a do scroll routine. So what does that routine do? We've built up a VDU command which we can send off. It includes the actual command for scrolling, VDU23/7. We can then add 3 parameters, the extent, a direction and a speed. The extent is which part of the screen you want to scroll, whether that's a text viewport, the whole screen, or a graphics viewport. The direction, up, down, left or right, and the speed is simply the number of pixels you want to scroll. So in our example here, we're going to use 2, which is the graphics viewport that we're going to scroll. If we run the program, you'll see that I've drawn a grey background, a black box in our viewport, and then we've drawn our shapes, the circle, square, triangle and such, and they've all been clipped to our viewport. But if we press one of the arrow keys, we can then scroll everything that's inside that box. Scrolling right, scrolling up, left and down. So that's how we scroll content. Now there's 2 things you're probably noticing here. Firstly, whatever goes missing is being replaced by blue. That blue is the last object that we drew on the screen with a filled colour. It's actually a small bug. It should be drawing with the text background colour, and I'm sure that's going to be fixed in a future update. Secondly, of course, it's not replacing it with anything. That's going to be down to you to decide how you want to replace it and what you're replacing it with. You might be replacing it with more graphics like we've drawn here, or it might be bitmaps that you're going to be bringing in. That's something for another lesson.